Hey guys, how's it going? Getting back into making some videos again, and this is a short quick look video. We're looking at the MODO Bass instrument from IK Multimedia, and this thing is absolutely blinding. I did a little funk pattern thing with it. Check it out. As you can hear, really realistic. Okay, now, there's no manual for this, right? So this is a quick look just to show you the thing, but I've done a full, in-depth review, and it functions as a tutorial where I really get into it and show you all about it as much as I've learnt so far, because I'm learning it and there's still more to learn, but there's no manual, right? So check the description below. There's the full in-depth review tutorial there if you want to really get into it. But let's go for the quick look here. So it's entirely modelled, this. There are no samples, which allows it to be supremely creative in terms of its articulation, which gives it that realism. Okay, so how does it work? Well, you've got these tabs: model, playstyle, strings, electronics, amps, and control. Okay, and of course you've got loads of presets: finger presets, pick presets, slap, extreme, and you can go back to default, right? So you start in model by choosing a bass, and these are so accurate sounding out of the box. There's 3 vintage Fenders, a modern jazz bass, there's an SG, there's a Music Man, there's a Ricky, there's a 90s studio bass there, there's a Honor violin bass, there's a Explorer there, and a further 4 modern basses. So you choose your starting bass model. Then you can set the strings, right? You can have them, the age of the strings, very old, just broken in, or brand new. You can set the gauge, medium, light, or heavy. You can set flat or round wound types. You can even change the action, and it does make a subtle difference depending on the playing style that the instrument's doing. Standard action, high or low action. You can bring drop tuning in and out, and even if it's a 4-string bass that you've chosen to start with, you can make it 5 or 6 string. And you've got a tuning reference that can be changed as well. So choose your model, set the strings exactly how you want, and then you're into your electronics. Whether it's a 2 or single bass pickup, you drop the list down and you can put any pickup in from any of the available basses. If you're using 2 pickups, you blend between them with the volume controls, or any pickup can be turned off to make it so you're listening to only 1 pickup. Further to that, there's a built-in body piezo pickup which you can use alone or blend it in with the pickups themselves. You've got a tone control, or you can switch it to active where you get bass, mid and treble. Right? So choose your model, set your strings, choose your pickups. Further, you can adjust the position of the pickups for even more tonal variation. Back to default. Okay, so you can do all that, and then you go to your amp and effects. There's 2 amps to choose from. This one, the solid state, you get gain, bass, mid, treble, and a graphic, as a limiter can be dropped in and out. Or the tube amp, which gives you gain, bass, a tunable mid, treble, and you can drop in punch and harmonic. Now, whichever amp you choose, there's an amp and DI feed, which obviously sound very different. They can be blended to any level you want, and then there's a final master output. And then you've got your pedal board. There are 4 pedal slots, right? And they can be turned off or on. Slot 1, 2, 3, 4. Any of them can be active. Choose a slot, drop the list down, install any of the 7 available pedals: octaver, distortion, chorus, compressor, delay, envelope filter, or the graphic. And all of these, apart from the envelope filter, have a volume output to adjust their final output going to the amp. Good stuff, very good stuff, right? So you set your whole bass up and your amp and pedals and all that, and then you've got this control page which shows you all the controller and key switch settings, because you can change key switching in a pattern to change the articulation of notes, to do different things. You can even switch between finger, pick and slap mode on the fly in a pattern. Lots and lots of stuff you can do like that. And there's a general vibrato rate and slide range as well for when you're doing vibrato or slides. Okay, and then that leaves the play style, and this is the thing that really pulls it all together. Okay, you've got finger style, pick style, or slap style. Now in finger or pick style, you can adjust where you're fingering or picking on the body of the bass, and that can be changed on the fly using controllers in the pattern. Right? In slap mode, you don't get that. Right? Now in slap mode, you can be in slap only, it's all thumb hits, pull-offs only, or auto, switch the threshold to whatever level you want, and notes above that threshold velocity will get a hard pull-off. Everything else will be a thumb hit. In pick mode, you don't get that. You get scratch control. You can choose how hard you hit the pick. Hard, normal, yeah. And in finger mode, it becomes touch, whether you're playing hard, soft, or normal. In finger mode or pick mode, you get the stroke, alternate, index or middle finger only, or alternate. And for the pick, it's down picks, up picks, or alternate. And for slap, again, we've seen that. It's all hard thumb-ons, pull-offs, or use the velocity threshold to do automatic pull-offs on the louder velocity notes. You've got a mute control. It's up to really heavy palm muting there you can do. Right. There's a detached noise control. It really makes a difference. Ram this right up. You really hear the fingers lifting off the strings. A little at the end, yeah? And there's a slide noise control to bring in more or less slide noise when you do any slides on the notes using controllers, etc. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. This is the secret to how it gets the realism. Now further, you've got this let ring control. All the notes will ring. But that can be articulated per note in a pattern. Now further, you've got this off open string thing. Okay, if any of the notes in your pattern correspond to an open string, with this on, it will play the open string rather than a fretted version, which obviously sounds completely different. I've got an A note, the first note in my pattern. With open string on it, plays an open A, which sounds different to a fretted A on the 5th fret of the E string, which is fatter. And then finally, this thing, which is genius. And again, all this can be changed on the fly in a pattern. Fingering. First position, it attempts to play everything down in the first position. Okay? And that's with either using open strings or not. Right? Easy, it does this. Easy mode means wherever it starts playing, the hand stays there, and when it wants to play higher notes, it will go up the strings, working slightly back down or up depending what the note is, but it will stay in the same area and go up strings for higher notes. But in nearest mode, it's like it's keeping the chord shape the hand's doing, and if it needs to go higher up, it'll slide up and play those higher notes on lower strings higher up. Totally different sound, right? That is totally different to this. And that can be again articulated on the fly for different parts of your pattern. This is genius, this thing. Absolutely brilliant. Now it works in mono mode all the time, but you can switch it to chord mode. Like I've got a couple of notes there for that final chord, and in the middle I'm doing a little pitch bend up and down. Otherwise it's in mono mode, so I'm using a switch there, look, to switch this so it plays a chord. Otherwise, where this isn't in, making it play chords, where two notes overlap like this, it will do a legato up, and further to that I'm doing a pitch bend up there as well to do that up to the top thing. Now, as I said, there's no manual for this. If you want a full depth look, as well as a kind of review all mixed in, there's a full length video linked in the description below. The full Monty, the long version, right, where I really get into it. But get the demo on the IK Multimedia website. No need for iLock or anything. You get a full demo. You really get time to try it out in full. None of this, burst of noise every 10 seconds nonsense. And you can really get into it and try it out for yourself. Now, it's not cheap. It's €299. But listen to it. I mean, this is...